discuss the Bible in the school with the setup we have, the separation of church and state. This is in no sense supposed to be anything about religion. We are talking about a great book, possibly the greatest book the world has, and used by more people than any other book. The word Bible means a book, and I would like to quote to you just a little bit from Dr. Max Rafferty, California Superintendent of Public Instruction. All school teachers are very much aware of this Dr. Rafferty, and he has an article in the paper, I think, every week. And he has this to say. He was talking about recent developments in the world, about Red China, things of this kind, and he made this remark. I happened to mention to an honors class in history the other day that this marked the first time since Samson that the jawbone of an ass has produced such devastating results. You would have thought I was speaking Sanskrit. The boys eyed each other blankly, and the girls giggled dutifully, apparently believing I had cracked some particular joke. But I decided to grasp the nettle firmly. What do I mean by a coat of many colors? I inquired. No one knew. Manna from heaven, I asked hopefully. The class began to manifest some anxiety, so I plunged deeply into my final question. How many of you have ever gone to Sunday school? Well, some of them raised their hands. And so he says, what about the curriculum in their own Sunday schools? In 9 cases out of 10, it's so inept, shallow, and foolishly piddling that it makes even the most blithering progressive of our public schools look like Caltech by comparison. Now, this man speaks out. It's a shame, too, because Sunday school can be and should be an important force in literary as well as religious education. The Ark of the Covenant, Ruth in tears, the alien corn, the sword of the Lord of Gideon, the waters of Babylon, the patience of Job, Jonah and the whale, David and Goliath. All of those things should be common knowledge. He says, I don't care whether the child is destined to be a Jew, Catholic, Protestant, black Muslim, holy roller, or a ranting atheist. If he's ever to have the slightest claim to being an educated man, he simply has to be intimately familiar with these and hundreds of other sublime stories which are legendary landmarks of our Western civilization. To go through life ignorant of the great Bible tales is to hobble hamstrung down a darkened course with blinders on. And if a youngster doesn't get this material in Sunday school, where is he going to get it? Don't take my word for these goings-on. Try these questions on your kid. Who denied he was his brother's keeper? Could you answer that? What happened to Lot's wife? Who ate the original mess of pottage, and why? What made Jericho's walls come tumbling down? All right, how well versed are you in the Bible? It's part of our lives in many ways. Even if we claim that we belong to no church and are not religious and never intend to be, it might surprise you to know how many connections you have with the Bible. How many of you have a name that you can trace back to a Bible name? I like to have the students participate in this, but with this type of thing, your voice wouldn't carry, so I'll supply them for you. Here are some men's names that are commonly used. Adam, Peter, Paul, David, John, James, Matthew, Mark, Daniel, Joseph, Andrew, Aaron, Thomas, Philip. For women's names, Mary, Martha, Ruth, Naomi, Rebecca, Rachel, Leah, Deborah, Miriam, Eve, Esther, Sarah, Anna, Hannah, and Delilah. Not to mention Hephzibah and Hezekiah. So many of our names are taken from the Bible. What about our holidays? What did we celebrate yesterday? One of the greatest holidays of all Christendom. Perhaps Christmas is recognized, especially by children, a little more, but for its importance, Easter is the very greatest Christian holiday. To Jews, Passover. To Catholics, Lent. And so a great many of the observances that we have and have been passed down through the ages go back to the Bible for their source. Be interesting to talk about what each of these holidays mean and where it came from. What about the music?